So when you are in nineplanets.org, you can go to the settings and you can show a scale grid, which is just a perfectly scaled grid of squares in the background. And when you look at that perfectly square and the sun is like ground zero, like the exact coordinates right there of 0, 0, you'll notice that the orbits of the planets are not perfectly circular. And I want you to know that that is absolutely, totally true. The orbits of the planets are not perfect circles. None of them are perfect circles. Look at Mercury. That there's definitely a time when Mercury is closer and farther from the sun. Mars, definitely not a perfect circle. They're close, but they're not perfect circles. This scale grid is neat because I can move the solar system and that scale grid just stays there. From the side, you don't see the scale grid at all because it is flat on the same plane as all the planets are. The orbital plane of the planets, that's what we call that. And if I go back up above the solar system, I want you to notice the shaded area. That is the distance of one astronomical unit. That is the distance from the sun to the earth. We just call it 1 AU. Now, if I go back farther out a little bit, they'll add in the number of AUs. Like the distance from the sun to Saturn is actually about 10 AUs. And if I keep going farther out, I can look at this scale grid. And if I moved the planets along in their orbits, and I'll make it go pretty fast, we can see them moving. Scientists can actually measure the exact speed of planets. They can measure the exact amount of time it takes to go from one spot to the next. They can compare it to the other planets. That's what allows scientists to use math and the patterns we see to make predictions. Now, if I pause there, I want to show you that you can also get rid of that scale grid. Just hide it. And I'm going to add in the stars in the background, even the constellation lines, maybe even the constellation names. Same thing, only this is really what's out there past the planets in the solar system. I'm going to zoom back in. Notice that the stars in the background didn't move. We're just focusing in on the solar system a little bit. Those stars are really far away. But notice as I move the solar system to look at it from the side, we're looking at different constellations in the background. If I move it this way, we've got stars over that way. If I move it this way, we've got Leo the lion in the background. If I move it this way, we've got Gemini the twins in the background. And where the Earth is in its orbit around the sun determines what planets we see in the nighttime sky.